Welcome to the Boozy Blondes podcast.
She's Molly.
And she's Chrissy.
We're best friends on a quest to bring you all things boozy.
Let's get lit. Pop,
Fizz,
clink.
Let's drink. Welcome back, Lushes. Today's episode is all about Epcot food and wine.
I think that's seriously my most favorite thing in the world.
I know, it's really hard to beat the magic of drinking in the most magical place in the world.
Yes. And you get to pair it with some awesome food, which is probably our second favorite thing, eating.
It's traveling and drinking and eating. I mean,
around the world.
Yes, It's the best.
So today, our drink of the episode, is Crazy Mona from Tabula Rasa Brewing. It's an Imperial Coconut Porter, and it's 11%. So Chrissy and I are a little kind of lightweight.
Sorry if we slur through this episode.
Yeah, as it goes on.
We blame. I already just did it. We blame.
Oh.
We blame Crazy Mona.
Yeah. Anyway, you can hear more about Tabula Rasa Brewing in our Jack's Ale Trail episode, Volume 1.
Yes.
All right, let's get into some magical stories of the Epcot Food and Wine Festival.
Because we have a lot to cover. We were just talking about it before we started recording, and we have done Epcot Food and Wine at least 10 times that we can recall. Possibly more.
Yeah, we have to go back and look through photos on old computers.
Yes.
Chrissy's iCloud only goes back to 2014, and we know we have been there many times in the late 2000s.
But also, I don't think we've really talked much about this, but on the website, for each episode, we're going to try to have, a blog post that corresponds with it. So for this one in particular, I think will be really fun because Molly has a jump drive, if we can find it, that has all of our Epcot adventures, and there has been a lot. I mean, this is kind of the start of our drinking around the world.
Yeah, our drinking travels.
Yeah.
So for anyone who has never been to the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, I just want to give a quick rundown because we love it so much. It's becoming more and more popular, I think, over the past, over a decade that we've been going. And it gets really crowded. But it started in 1996, and they created this festival at Disney World in Orlando, Florida, to boost park attendance during the slower season. So kind of between the summer and the holidays. Excuse me. And this Food and Wine Festival has sparked other festivals at Epcot through the years. They do, oh my gosh, what do they have? The Flower and Garden Festival. They do the Christmas around the world during the holidays. That's not what it's called. I can't remember right now. But anyway, every year or every so many years, it seems that the amount of days you can experience the Food and Wine Festival has increased due to its popularity. So it started out, I think it was 30 days.
Yeah, July. Okay, maybe originally. But I wrote down July to November.
No, that's what it started. Oh, that's what it is now. Yeah. It was usually the end of September through the beginning of November, most of the years when we went.
Yeah.
So in 2014, it started at 30 days. And then it jumped to 46 days. In 2014, it went to 53 days. And this history is boring. It's just a lot of days. Right now, it's July through November.
But I feel like this year, post-COVID, it was, hard to get into Disney. And then when they did finally open it, they just opened with food and wine. And I feel like it was almost all year because we had friends coming down and they said they were going. And I remember being like, no, this isn't the time of year to do it. But apparently it just went almost all year this year.
Yeah, in 2021.
But it's kind of like rolling the dice because if you're going, if it was normally September to November in Florida, you have no idea what the weather's going to be like. And that's honestly how we remember our trips. The time it rained, the time it was freezing cold, the time we were sweating. There's just always, the weather just totally changes your experience.
That's so true. So again, if you haven't been to Epcot before, let alone the Food and Wine Festival, Epcot has the World Showcase section that has 11 countries. There's Mexico, Norway, China, Italy, Japan, et cetera, et cetera. During the Food and Wine Festival, they bring in about over 30 other booths representing other countries or even
regions.
Food trends or regions, because they had a whole chicken wing booth this year,
Yeah, they had the honey one where everything was made with beer made with honey and desserts made
mead.
with honey. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just go around to all these different stations and you get to sample for a nominal fee, different food and wines from that region or theme. So it is the most gluttonous day of the year for us. And we're going to give you some tips, some of our favorite memories, from our trips. And just the best way that we think that we've found out after all many years attending the Food and Wine Festival, kind of the best things to do.
Yeah, we've boiled it down to the best way to do it now because we have tried and failed at many different ways of doing it and succeeded at many. So honestly, I love their description, which is a taste tour across 6 continents, drinking around the world, travel, friends, food, booze. It has it all.
Oh, I feel like that should be the theme for our podcast.
I know. I just was like, they wrote this for us. We want to start with our top 5 things to bring.
Okay. What's your number 1?
Mickey ears.
Me too, except I said mini ears.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like you're right. They really are called mini ears, but I don't know why I call them Mickey ears.
Oh,
but they go either way. Like Minnie.
Well, yeah. So I have to give a shout out to Dearest Ears on Etsy. My most favorite mini ears ever came from her shop. They're super comfortable. They're food and wine themed. They have wine corks, and I think you got a wine themed pair as well.
Yeah, you would not believe
Etsy.
The market for mini ears on Etsy. I remember like when we first started looking, when we were going to go like 2 years ago, and we were like, let's get some really cute ears, because every time we go to the park, you see people wearing them and you're like, where did you get those? So obviously we're not sold here at Disney because they have like corks on them and wines and like little forks. I saw somebody with the Little Mermaid one and it had the dingle hopper fork. I thought it was like the cutest thing ever.
Oh, mine has a spoon and a fork in it too. Not the dingle hopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so like we started seeing them when we were there, and that kind of led us to just do a search for it. And we went down the Etsy rabbit hole, and oh my God, my favorites. I have an entire Disney favorite section on Etsy now, which is just full of Mickey / Minnie ears.
Oh, I want to see that.
So yeah, Mickey or Minnie ears definitely is what it's all about. And even when we went for the Food and Garden show, which is during your birthday, and that was my first time going, I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah, the Flower and Garden Festival, they always have the cutest ears. Or I see girls because they're all like floral, like flower crowns.
Drink. But yeah, I liked that one because it was just a little different. But they had the same thing with all the different kiosks through the World Showcase. All right, so my second tip to do is matching shirts. Even if you're going with just like your partner or spouse or friend or a huge group, there are so many hilarious drinking around the world themed shirts.
I know. I love those. That was my number 2 as well. I put themed, comfy costumes. It's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Be comfortable.
Which, like, so I have kind of hopped on the Instagram trend. I love to wear my cute Instagram outfits to Disney now and take pictures there. They're definitely not comfortable. But I mean, Disney is just so beautiful, and there are actual sections of the park that have their own hashtags, like the toothpaste wall that we took pictures in front of by Nemo. So, I mean, just enjoy yourself. Just play it up. Come with a group of friends. Get like a shirt that says drinking team, or we saw The Incredibles.
Incredible drinking team.
So this time when we went, like, we actually were seeing people with these great shirts on, and we would stop them and be like, we're with Boozy Blondes. Can we take a picture of you for the podcast? Because I love it. It just makes it that much more fun.
I do too. We've had theme shirts quite a few times throughout our travels.
This before there was no Etsy. There was no like trend or, I don't even know where you would get custom made shirts made. Except for Phil had a printing press in our garage, and he made us all these shirts that said cheers in every single language for all the countries we were going to visit.
My favorite, Sean and Robin made them in the villages, and the back of the shirt said, hi ho, it's off to drink we go, with 2 beer steins cheersing. And all of us, we had about a dozen of us who went. We were all a different drunken dwarf.
Yeah.
So I was tipsy. Who were
Burpee.
Chrissy has some pretty epic burps.
You guys, I've been trying to be really nice and not do that on the podcast because amplified, I don't know, that would be scary.
Totally, for sure. So, but it was great because people would see us. I remember coming out of a bathroom and this guy looked at me. He goes, tipsy. I just saw Sloppy go that way. So he just picked another one of our doors.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's just like wearing a costume. It makes you a little more free. It takes you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So
and it makes for fun pictures with everybody.
Absolutely.
With your crew. All right. What do you have for number 3?
Passport. And I'm not talking about the kind you get at Disney, which is great because if you don't know, when you're at some of the kiosks, they carry these little Disney Epcot Food and Wine passports. You can grab them and it shows you everything that's available for food and wine. But we used to make them ourselves, and now I found this on Etsy, which we'll link in the show notes where you can get these. It's a it's a passport that is for each year. They have all the country flags on the front, and on the back, it's just, the name of the country and a line, so you can fill in what you had there. And they make really great keepsakes because just like we were sitting here earlier trying to figure out how many years we've gone, you absolutely can't remember what you had. So you'll remember what you had in each country, and, you can put stars next to what's your favorite. So I just really like it. It's kind of like a drinking scrapbook.
No, I agree. It's not in my top 5, but I do have that in a note later on in my notes. But
what else
I'll talk about it.
5?
Okay. I said a gift card wristlet because you can spend a lot of money really fast, which, may not be a problem. But for us, we like to set a limit to start with and then reevaluate once that limit is gone. Yeah. So we'll put so much money on a gift card, and at Food and Wine, they're small and they come with a bungee wristlet cord, I guess, so you can wear it around your wrist. So it's always with you. You don't have to dig it out of your purse, your wallet, your pocket, and then you put whatever amount on there. If we spend it all, we can go reload it or say, maybe it's time to go home. We've had enough.
No, it's a good idea because you put $150 on there, and if you blow through it real quick, you're kind of like, oh, okay.
Maybe I should slow down.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I'll go.
Or maybe I should amp it up. Maybe that's nothing. I don't know.
It's either time for a ride or it's time to reload. But I've learned that these wristbands, they don't have them everywhere. So either get them when you get in and get your ticket, because they have it at the ticket window, or right when you get into Epcot, they have that main gift shop.
Yeah, there's a specific name for them because there's a couple sprinkled around the World Showcase. It's maybe the festival booths or something. It's not any gift shop. They're specific ones, but anybody can direct you
pretty much because they're not everywhere. Okay, so I had for my number 4 thing is comfy shoes.
Well, I grouped that in with my comfy costume.
Okay.
I put backpack for number 4.
Oh, that's really smart. Yeah, backpack purse because it's Florida. You need sunblock and hand sanitizer and sunglasses and
your wallet, or maybe you need to throw a hoodie in there.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I can
later.
Roll up my light hoodie and throw it in there.
It just makes it easy. You're not. It's on your back. It's you have your
and
hands free.
Those really cute Disney ones. So it's a backpack with ears, and you don't have to buy the Disney version one because at the park it's $90. I know
they're so cute. They adorable. Have so many themes too.
But
whatever movie you love, they have a backpack for it.
But you can get them on Amazon. Really great prices. I should put together a Epcot list for Amazon.
Oh yeah,
just like we did with the packing one. So if you haven't listened to our packing podcast, it definitely will help you with what to pack for your Disney Epcot trip.
Because you should definitely stay overnight if you're going to be indulging like us. There's no way we could drive home after this park.
No, this is at least
for this festival,
an overnight trip.
So listen to our packing episode so you are prepared to get back to your hotel room.
Well, I said comfy shoes because you will not believe how much you walk because you're going to make it around the world at least once. Sometimes Molly and I will beg for 20 minutes of free time. And, if we've been drinking enough, we get really, like beer muscles and we'll say.
We race around the world at that point.
Yeah, we get boastful. We're like, we can make it around the world in 20 minutes. And we do. We have the pictures to prove it.
Yeah.
But you just you walk a lot.
Or you can go to the other side of the park, like the Future World side.
Yeah.
They've started even putting kiosks up over there outside of the World Showcase. Plus, if you want to go on any of the rides, that's on the other side of the park. So you're doing a lot of walking.
Well, when we first met you, so we just went this year, a couple months ago. Actually, last month? Right? So not even that long ago. And so Phil and I totally screwed up and didn't register our tickets before getting there. So because we got a Florida resident ticket, we had to wait in this ridiculously long line. And everyone else had their tickets, so we're like, you guys just go in. So you guys did Figment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you came out of that building with beer?
No, we didn't. We came
beers.
but we went to another place to get our beer.
Where did you get your beers?
In the land pavilion where Soren is, and live in the land ride.
Yeah.
It's down at the bottom. They have like a little food court area.
I just know, like, after waiting in that line to get in, I was like, where are the beer kiosks? I need a drink.
Yeah. So if you are a Florida resident, you can type in your Florida residency information when you buy the ticket, and then you don't have to wait in line.
Yeah, which I learned. I was being lazy. I was like, it's not a big deal. I'll do it when I get there. No, bad idea. Okay, so my last thing is sunblock. I feel like I say this on every episode, like sunblock, sunblock, sunblock. But this is Florida. I mean, we're really,
especially if you're not
pale little blonde girls, and so we fry.
Yeah, I should have put that. I always carry sunblock with me. But my number 5 top things to bring was a plan. Because when you were going with people, whether there's 4 of you or 12 of you or 20 of you, it's like herding cats. Yep. So at least figure out, like, take a look at what's to offer. If you know you really want to, try the escargot in France, know when you're going to get there. When you go in, you can go one of 2 ways around the world. So at least have some sort of idea. We'll talk more about planning with our pro tips and later in this episode.
That's super important. I should have had that on mine because honestly, like, Molly and I are just usually always on the same page when we travel. We like to do a lot of the same things. So we're just like, all right, this is our mission. We're, going to do all these things. But it's true, especially if you're traveling with other people. I mean, somebody may want to do all these roller coasters, which is on one complete opposite side of the park of where.
Well, no. There's no Epcots no roller coasters at Epcot, so don't think you can go on thrill rides if you haven't been there.
Well, there are thrill rides because Test Track is there.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, honestly, I'm not a ride person. We also did Mission Space, which was terrifying.
But that was so long ago.
They're just like different sides of the park.
True.
Rides are on one side, and then World Showcase is another. So you definitely need to plan. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where now we're getting into pro tips because making reservations based on your plan is so important, and you have to do this as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. That's my number 1 too. I worded it a little differently. I just said plan a timeout to sit and eat.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was always this way, but definitely post-COVID, you have to have reservations to do dining, and they sell out so fast. Like, so I think it was about a week before we were going to go, and I was like, oh my gosh, we need a timeout spot. And last time we enjoyed going to that restaurant in Italy so much, Tutto Italia. So I was like, let's see if we can get in there. I mean, literally, there was no reservations for anything we wanted to do. There was like 2 restaurants that had reservations, and they weren't even in the time we wanted. So I don't know. Is there a limit? Like, you have to be within the month to make the reservation?
I feel like if you book... there's a Disney app, which is extremely useful because you can do all your planning through there. If you book through a Disney hotel through the app, don't use a third party like hotels.com or anything like that, but actually through disneyworld.com, you can book reservations. I think it's 60 days in advance if you have a park ticket.
Yeah. You have to have your park ticket already.
Yeah, and that reservation. But if you just have a park ticket and you're staying somewhere else or you didn't book through Disney World, I think you have 30 days in advance.
And I do like that they're strict like that because otherwise people will just be like banking reservations and they don't show up. And it's hard for people that are at the park. So they actually do charge you too if you don't show up. So I had to put a credit card in. But it was absolutely worth it because, like Molly said, you need to have a timeout planned because you're drinking around the world and, you
right. Even though you're eating, it really is vital for us. I mean, every year in past years, when you didn't really need reservations and we lucked out last year in 2020, of course, there weren't a whole lot of people there. We were able to walk in a couple places, but we used to stop in Japan because it was halfway around the world. We all like sushi. We would go in there and just take a time out. Everybody would get something to eat. You're in the AC or the heat if it happens to be cold, and you just stop for a minute, And I 100% would recommend this. No matter when you're going, just just make sometime between like 2 and 4 in the afternoon, make a plan to stop somewhere and sit down.
Absolutely. It's so important because it's a marathon, not a sprint. You want to enjoy yourself. And there's so much to see. And Disney does such an incredible job of making each country just so memorable
and authentic.
Yeah. I mean, I think Italy is just so cool because it looks just like Venice and St. Mark's Square. And so I just love spending time there. So it's just a great spot to stop for us. So that was my number one thing,
and
is make
too.
Dining reservations. So number 2 for me was avoid the main entrance. And that was, like I was saying, after this last trip.
That's my number 8.
Really?
Go in the World Showcase entrance. Yes.
Which is... So we normally will stay at a Disney property. We do the Dolphin or Swan because you can walk right into Epcot, which is a baller move.
So convenient. Yes.
so
nice.
Convenient. Because, I mean, listen.
We don't like public transportation.
Yeah. We've started off doing this as barely out of college. Didn't really have money for Disney. So we would stay at the cheapest hotels.
And cram like 6 of us
in a
there.
room. Yeah. So now, we absolutely appreciate being able to stay at a Disney property and just, walk right in. And it's just so nice. You avoid the main entrance crowd because this year, like I said, I was terrible and didn't fill out all my Florida resident stuff. So I had to wait in line instead of having my park pass on my phone like everyone else. And just got in the main line. And, oh, my God, we waited 45 minutes at least.
Oh, at least. We couldn't believe you were still in line. Yeah.
I know. And I don't I'm very patient. I've worked in retail and customer service. And I just understand, everyone's doing their best. But I was like, I'm at Disney. I'm ready for the magic to begin. It was just awful sitting there.
If you've listened to our Get to Know Us episode, I talk about how I was afraid of Chrissy in the early years. I didn't want to be around Chrissy until she got a drink in her after she got through that line. Absolutely. I could just imagine.
Yeah. I'm way more mellow with a drink in my hand. So just don't make me wait in line until I've been drinking.
Oh, well, my number 2 was gift cards. The Wristlet gift card, which we talked about top 5 things to bring. But I really do believe that's a pro tip to just, it's easy to swipe. You don't have to pull out cash.
You don't have a million receipts and you know what you're spending, which is nice for sure.
Load it. So we went this past year, we went with our friends Taylor and Elias. And that was their first time. And I told Elias, I said, you really need to get a gift card. And he said, well, what if I don't spend all the money on it?
We laughed.
I said, oh, you will. You will.
Yeah.
And I said, if not, I'll buy the rest from you.
Absolutely.
Because even if you don't use it all at Food and Wine, you can still use it at any Disney property, restaurants, retail store. It just works throughout Disney. You're not locked into Food and Wine with it.
Yeah, it's super handy. I totally agree with that. Honestly, I think, side note, we could do a business of being a Food and Wine, docent, tour. Just take people. Is your first time to Epcot Food and Wine? Would you like the Boozy Blondes to take you? I mean, they had
my jaws dropped.
So much fun because we had all the reservations made. All they had to do was show up, and we had passports ready for them.
Right, we'll bring mini ears.
Yes,
shirts.
Oh,
shirts.
We bought them mini ears too. We told them exactly what to wear. Elias definitely failed.
Well, yeah, that didn't work so well.
See,
but that's okay. That wasn't our fault.
We can
tried.
Actually blame him now because we threw him under the bus for something he didn't do. And this is actually his fault. He did not have a matching shirt with the boys.
Poor Elias is going to be under our microscope for the next couple months until we get him for something.
Oh, it's funny. It's only funny because we really love him.
Mm-hmm,
okay,
for sure.
So I think honestly, all of my first 3 things are all about how much I hated waiting in line. Because number 2 was avoid the main entrance. Number 3 is have your ticket on your phone, which I would have if I'd done what I should have done. And number 4 is fill out your Florida resident info online so you don't have to wait in line.
Yeah. So if you're not from Florida, just disregard that.
You're going to have to wait in line and it sucks. But
no, not necessarily. I would assume you'd get your tickets, everything prepared before you come down. Or you would have picked up your 4-day pass or whatever from another park.
That was in line with me were just people showing up ready to just buy a ticket that day.
No, some of them were though. They just go and pay. Some have
Florida
to pick them up
residents.
at will call. Yeah.
So
just try to find a way to do it without.
Yeah, honestly,
have it on your phone, or if you still have Magic Bands or whatever that may be, link it to your Disney app. But if you go in the World Showcase entrance, there's an entrance through the Boardwalk Resort area where the Boardwalk resort is, and the beach and yacht club and the Swan and Dolphin, and it's in between France and the UK that you come in.
Yeah.
And it's always less crowded there. You might still have to wait in line a little bit.
It's like nothing compared to the main gates though. So
yeah,
honestly, like it's worth it. That's staying on Disney property gets you access to that, and that's kind of your perk.
Yeah, or take an Uber to the boardwalk. Tell them you're gonna go eat at one of the restaurants there, and walk over that way.
Yeah, because that was my number 5. Stay on a Disney property, because especially Dolphin and Swan, if you're going to Epcot specifically, is a really good deal to still be in walking distance.
Or if you have more money than me and Chrissy, stay at the boardwalk.
Yeah, because that place
or
is
the yacht
beautiful.
club or beach club. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Side note: if you go to the boardwalk, they have a carousel bar down by the pool, and it's just awesome. I loved sitting out there. All right, so what else do you have for pro tips?
Well, pro tips. When we talked about mini ears, our number one thing to bring, we kind of touched on this. I love Disney World, but buy your ears from Etsy. They're way more comfortable. Christy and I both have the traditional mini ears. They're like sequenced out from the parks. And honestly, those things hurt my head after a while.
They're very tight. I think they're honestly for children because it's like one size fits all.
Maybe that's the reason.
But yeah, and the only tip I will give you for Etsy is you can find ears on Amazon. They're going to be not as cute, but they'll ship quick. With Etsy, give yourself like 30 days lead time because some of this stuff is being custom made for you and then they're just shipping it. It's literally just some awesome person making it at their house and then driving to the post office to ship it. So you just need to kind of plan in advance for that.
And please let me and Chrissy know if you make mini ears or you know somebody who does, or you have an Etsy shop, because we would love to check it out and help support you too. I'd much rather get my personalized ears from an Etsy seller.
Oh my gosh, like some Boozy Blonde ears, those would be amazing. Like we could have.
You're full of great ideas in this episode. I love this.
I'm at that
jotting these down.
This perfect drunken level where I'm coming up with great ideas. Like one more beer and they'll be just terrible ideas. But I feel like one year could have the beer, one year could have the wine. It'll be great.
With the little BB in the middle. Yeah.
Okay, so
what else you got, Chris?
This is my number 6.
Okay.
I don't know if you're going to agree with this because Molly wants to get as much time in as possible everywhere we go. But I'm saying start later in the day, especially during the summer months, because it is so hot. And I remember when we used to go, we would drive down for the day, so we wouldn't get there at like opening time exactly maybe. But I remember we would make it to fireworks. And now we usually go down Friday night, so we'll stay over. So we're there at like crack of dawn when it opens. And it's like still daylight. And I'm like, okay, is it time to go home yet? Because I'm usually feeling pretty rough.
I think we're just getting older because the last year when we went, Epcot didn't open till 11. And normally in the past, the World Showcase didn't open till 11. The Future World with the rides opened at 9. So we did go earlier then.
Do you know how late it stays open, the World Showcase?
No, I think it just depends on the day. It was 10 o'clock this year.
Because honestly, if it's open till 10, like, I could go at 2 and just
I would be okay with that,
and
honestly.
go like full out the whole time because we get there at 11 and, we go hard because we get there and then it's 2 o'clock and you're like, oh my God, like.
Well, that's why we have a timeout.
Exactly.
Listen, and Chris, you've had a couple of rough past Epcot food and wine experiences, so we'll try again next year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say Epcot food and wine over 40 has been a little rough for me because it was an all-time life low and I was just, having a great time in the bathroom after Mexico. I, you've been listening to me. I have a drink and I talk and I just keep going. And so we went to the UK.
Hold on. We started in the hotel room. We stayed at the Swan or the Dolphin.
We start
and we had
every day with a rum and ginger at 10 a.m.
But this is just all the progress where it got you. So we walked to the park with rum.
I had my rum and ginger. Then I got to the UK and I pounded a cider. Yep. And then we went to Mexico and we got amazing margaritas. I think mine was like some avocado margarita.
Yeah, yours was like thick.
Yeah, and it was like ecto cooler green. And so it was like 90 some degrees out. So I pound the thing. And then we go to get tacos because we're like, we've
we should probably eat something.
Had 3 drinks in an hour and a half and it's hot out. So we go
mixing. I mean, it was rum, cider, tequila.
Which normally I never do any of those things. I just drink wine. So we go to Mexico, we get tacos, we're all sitting down and like, I am just not speaking. I'm just like staring at a table. And in my brain, I'm like, you're okay. You're okay. And everyone's looking at me, and I feel like Rainer's like, are you okay?
Rainer just looked at you and goes, you're being really quiet and it's freaking me out.
Yeah, because I mean, I couldn't even speak to save my life because Molly's like, do you need to go to the bathroom? And I just nod. I'm like, if I stay quiet, they will ask the right question and I can just say yes or no with my head shake. And so, yeah, it was all-time low having to throw up in a Disney bathroom when there's children there.
At like 11:45 in the morning.
Pretty bad. And it's, you know, an auto flush toilet. So every time you get close to it, it just starts flushing. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to time this so the noise drowns it out and so that it's not in my face? It was bad.
I waited for her outside the bathroom. Mm-hmm. I was not there to hold her hair back. But Chris, I give you the most credit for rallying, and we lasted. You lasted.
That was my college name, Puke and Rally. I mean, it's pressing the reset button. So
yeah, I don't have a reset button. That's great.
But I made it my goal this year that was not going to happen. And I was like, please, can we not go to Mexico until like the end of the day at least?
Which I don't know if that's any smarter. But
I survived.
Yep.
I was a little rough in China, but I survived.
I think we went counterclockwise around the world instead of clockwise this year.
We had a plan.
Yeah, see? Top 5 things to bring. A plan.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, that was number 6. What was
6 for me was start your day later.
Oh,
especially in
yeah,
the
and that's fine. That's fine. Back to number 4 is the Morocco Bar. Go find that Morocco Bar because it's a full bar. It's usually not very crowded. And the food and wine kiosks are great. You can get a lot of specialty beers and specialty cocktails and specialty like NA drinks too. They have a lot of fun different drinks without alcohol in it. But the Morocco Bar is just a full-on bar with whatever you want. And Morocco itself has all these little back alleys and hidden tables. And you can just take a little time out there with your group too after you get absolutely whatever you want from a real bar.
Yeah, that's definitely a pro tip. That's on my favorite list when we get there.
Oh, okay, good. And then, go ahead. You can do the next one.
Well, so I think I've already kind of touched on this was avoid weekends if possible. So if food and wine is going on during the week like they did this year, I mean, if you can go on a Wednesday, if you happen to be like, you know, taking a week vacation, absolutely go to food and wine, not during the weekend rush because there'll be just so many less lines, and that is kind of what makes it hard to sample everything because you can only pick and choose your favorites if the lines are 45-minute wait.
Well, no, I will say though, I think they move faster than we think. I was in the line in France for probably a good 30 minutes, which is really long.
That's
Usually
long.
they move faster, but it can turn you off. I mean, just seeing those lines, you'll bypass something that you really want.
But I mean, if you have a drink in your hand and you're just going to wait in line for the next one, then that's fine.
That's fine. I didn't have a drink in my hand, so that was a really long wait.
I get it. You know me in lines. I need a drink.
Yeah. But I have that as a pro tip too. If you can go during the week, go during a weekday. Yeah. All us locals are going on the weekend, so we're going to be infiltrating the park on Saturday for sure.
So then I have if you can't make it to Food and Wine, if it doesn't line up with your travel, try to catch one of the other festivals, which for me, I really loved the Flower and Garden Show, which is March through July. It was less busy. And I don't know if it was just because it was coming off of COVID and reopening or just that's not as popular. I feel like Food and Wine is very popular now.
Or maybe it's like most of it's still in the school year.
Yeah.
You know? Because usually it doesn't go that late until July. So I feel like for the most part, kids are in school.
Yeah. But for me, honestly, it's almost exactly the same. They have a bunch of different kiosks. You can walk around the World Showcase. You can wear cute ears. And the restaurants are a little bit less busy, or at least they were that time.
And the landscaping.
It's stunning. We got some of the coolest pictures. So that's a highlight for me. I really enjoyed going to the Flower and Garden Show. And for me, it's just as good as Food and Wine if you can't make it during that time of year.
We can go this year.
Yeah.
It's always around my birthday.
I know.
It's like my birthday trip now.
She's already angling for it.
So another one of my pro tips, which was also a top 5 thing to bring, the comfy costumes, themed costumes. I would definitely get into the spirit. do a theme with your friends, and it makes it easier for you to find each other when it's so crowded. You know what you're all wearing because you're all wearing the same thing. And like I said that one time when the guy yelled at me like, Sloppy went that way. They know who you belong to if you look lost.
That's a great tip. So 9 on my list is pack a hangover recovery kit. So we have an entire podcast episode that breaks down what we pack for boozy travel. So make sure you check that one out. Where we talk about all our must-haves, but honestly, you need like a pre and post-game recovery kit for Epcot because it is drinking around the world. Like you have to really have your game day drink on.
And I guess to, add to that, plan for brunch the next morning, even though I told you it's a very gluttonous day. You're eating and drinking your face off all day. You're going to be hungry for brunch. It never fails. Chrissy and I always are hungry the next day. So like she was talking about, make your reservations, find a place for brunch the next day, either at your hotel, at Disney Springs, at another one of the resorts, but book a brunch so you're going to get fed before you leave.
You've definitely turned me onto this because I feel like you just don't want vacation to be over. So like you just keep
you know me
going.
Too well. Yep.
So it's like, next morning you're hungover as hell and you just want to get in your car and get the heck home. And Molly's like, no, but like, let's do brunch or what else can we do? Because she just doesn't want to be over. But I've come around to this idea because we've gone to so many cool places on the way home and like it just adds to the experience. But this last time, I really loved the place we went to brunch, and I never even knew that was at Disney Springs.
City Works, I think it was.
It was fantastic. It was a brewery right in Disney Springs. Their food was so good. I loved everything.
And we stayed at the Hilton at Disney Springs, so we could walk to Disney Springs, which is also great. Even though you walk, I don't know how many miles when you're doing food and wine.
It's just nice not to have to get an Uber.
Yeah, and just walk to brunch and then walk your brunch off and get on your way.
We should link that show or that hotel to the show notes because that's one of my favorite ones we've stayed at that's not a Disney property, and I feel like it was a great clean hotel for the price we paid.
I'm a fan of the Hilton family hotels, but I was pleasantly surprised with the price we paid, how clean it was, how friendly the staff was. It was very convenient to the park.
Because
to Disney Springs.
I mean, I didn't write this down, but this is definitely a pro tip is to go down on Friday night, spend some time at downtown Disney and do their restaurants because they have incredible food and drinks there, and then do the next day at Epcot.
Yeah. If you're local, and you only have a weekend, definitely extend your vacation.
That's a great way to extend it.
Yeah.
So my number 10 was download the Disney apps. Like you said, the Disney app, which helps you make your reservations and see wait times for lines and stuff. And then there's actually, I feel like each year there's a new app to download for Epcot Food and Wine. And it tells you exactly what kiosks are available, what they're serving. You get every menu item and the price. So you can, if you're really into planning, you can get it down to the T.
So wait, what app is that?
I can't remember the name because I delete it off my phone every year because it's different every year. But I just typed in Epcot Food and Wine.
Oh, cool.
And they come up like with the year. So look for the year you're going, download it, and it gives you all that information.
You were holding out on me this year.
I thought I told you to download
You probably did. Yeah.
And I did. And I like looked at everything and then time just flew and it was time to go before I actually like was able to plan what I wanted, which sometimes it's better because then you're disappointed. You're like, oh my God, I really wanted this. It sounded so good. Yeah. And then you got to the line and you're like, screwed, I'm not waiting in that line.
Oh, the one thing I wanted the most, it was in America of all places, but it was like a crab and avocado parfait. So two of my favorite foods.
That sounds terrible.
Huh?
Parfait, like a dessert?
Well, no, I think it was like a layer of crab meat, a layer of avocado, a layer of crab meat.
I was thinking of the like Friends episode where Rachel makes the like trifle.
Meat pie.
Yeah. Meat good. Oh, drink for that. We said that one in unison.
Well, regardless, we were in America for a really long time, I feel like. And I was right next to it, ordering beers for somebody else and completely forgot.
I think that's where we got separated. I think I left you guys in America.
No, you went and got that coffee drink with Rainer.
Oh. Okay, so but when did you guys get the weird Southern food? Because that's when me, Taylor, and Elias went to England again. That was
really late in the day.
That was like some random kiosk.
Yeah.
That was a Southern kiosk.
No, it was called like the Swanky Swine or something.
Because the three of us walked past it and we're like, Rainer's not going to be able to pass this sucker up. And
Yep.
sure enough, when we call you, that's where you were.
Yeah. I wasn't into it. They had a really good beer there though, but I forget what it is now. I have a picture of it somewhere. We'll put it on the blog.
Did you have anything else on your pro tips list?
Yeah, split items. So a lot of the food items, I mean, you're getting pretty much sample sizes, but there are so many things to choose from.
Yeah.
You're going to get full really fast. So it's good to share with everybody.
I know. I love when we go together. It's usually me and Phil and Molly and Rainer, and we call each other the Wolf Pack. And it's honestly nice when you go with 4 people because you can try so many more things. You just get one thing and just split it
Everybody
between 4,
has a
and you're
bite,
like,
yeah.
Great. And honestly, like we all like different things, so sometimes I get to try things that way that I normally wouldn't because, like, you know, Rainer wants something random, and
like when I was at that Swanky Swine place, I still don't like it. I don't even know what they had, like pork rind stuff.
This is when we went for the Flower and Garden show, but remember they had like it was like a New Orleans booth almost. And they had like the boudin that he likes and oysters. And like it was so good. And I never would have tried that on my own. So it's really cool to go with different people and just be able to sample a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. My final tip is get someone else to drive home.
Oh my God.
Because if you're like us, you're going to be hungover and then full from brunch and you just want to maybe sleep on the way home.
Yeah. That's rough. That's a good tip. We're so excited to share one of our partners. We're working with H-Proof. They're these awesome chewable tablets that help prevent hangovers.
They were created by a medical doctor, are patent pending, taste amazing, just like cherry sweet tarts, and are individually packaged so they're easy to bring with you. Most importantly, they seriously work.
Our affiliate link is in the show notes of this podcast. When you purchase through our link, you help us keep the boozy content coming your way. And with the discount code Boozy Blondes, you get 10% off your order.
Check it out at www.h-proof.com/Boozy Blondes.
And we're back. Okay, so now moving on to favorite countries. So, you know, there's 6 continents. How many countries?
There's 11 full-time countries. And let's just talk about those because, of course, they have over 30 kiosks of like New Zealand and Ireland and all these different places.
Oh, this is off the cuff. This is going to see if we can remember all 11. So I'm going to try to go in order. We have UK, Canada, Mexico, America,
Norway, China,
Japan.
Oh, shoot. Wait, no, I'm out of order now. Start over real quick. Like, let's start. Okay, so you have Mexico, Norway, China, Germany, Italy, America, Japan, America, France. Oh, I forgot Morocco, then France, UK, Canada.
Okay. Yeah, so
I might have screwed up some in the middle because that's usually where we're fuzzy.
Yeah. But so there's so many countries. So we try, like, it could be an entire episode breaking down each country and like what you can do there. So we just wanted to give you guys a recap of our favorite countries and why they're our favorite. So how many do you have?
Oh, I thought I had to pick one.
No.
Oh, I have 1, 2,
I have 4.
4, 5. I have 5.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
I think I love them all except for like one.
We try to.
I narrowed it down.
Make every episode into a drinking game. So we're gonna make this part into a drinking game. So if you're playing along, you should be drinking anytime we say Phil or Rainer or yeah, or say things in unison. But now, if Molly and I match a country, you can drink.
Yeah.
We'll drink too.
Okay.
What's your number one favorite?
Well,
country?
my number one favorite used to be Japan. Do you have Japan?
I don't have Japan at all.
So Japan's different now. They used to have the sake bar inside, so I loved going to get
sake tasting down in the gift shop.
Yep, that's gone. We used to do our time out there. They have a hibachi restaurant, but in the front of it is, I forget the name of it, but it's a sushi lounge basically, and we used to stop and get sushi there. So I used to love Japan, but now that stuff's not there, I don't love it as much.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bummer because we just kind of go right by it.
And the girls that do the drums, I love listening to them. If they bring Japan back to how it was, it could definitely be my favorite again.
For sure. Mm-hmm. So what is is Japan actually on there?
What?
Japan's on there as your favorite?
Well, as my used to be favorite.
Oh, so what's your current favorite? Used to be favorite.
All right. I have to say at this point in time, Italy is my favorite.
That's my number one. Italy.
Yeah.
Okay, so why is Italy your favorite?
It has to be because of the wine cellar bar. Same. Honestly, it's a great time out place. We've been there the past 2 years in a row and just had a good time relaxing. It's a great ambiance in there. Mm-hmm. We both love wine, so we get to sit there and drink our wine.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it is above and beyond all the other countries. It's my favorite. The restaurant is called Tutto Italia, and the tip is you want to sit in the wine bar or wine cave. When you make a reservation, you cannot select to sit there, but my tip is once we got to the park and we were close enough that I could run ahead to Italy, I did. And I said, we have a reservation for 2:00, 6 people. Is there any way you can make it so that we would like to sit in this section? So if you're sitting there at the hostess stand, it's to your right, and you honestly would never even see it if you just get seated in the restaurant. But it is an authentic looking Italian little wine cave, and they have a full bar there. They have all this like really cool seating, and you feel like you're transported into Italy when you're in there. You can't even see the rest of Epcot. It's so cool. And so I love that. That is a great tip to try to do. And the waitress was so accommodating, our hostess. And she's like, all right, I'll call you when it's ready. Even though we had a 2:00 reservation, I was like, well, wait, if it's like 2:15, 2:30 to get in there.
Yeah. Absolutely. So it's worth the wait.
It's definitely worth it. It feels like more private dining. Mm-hmm. You have your own little area, the way it's like segmented off into sections. And my favorite thing about it was the charcuterie board, which I think you can still order in the restaurant, but it's just, we love them. And I got a wine flight there. So, I mean, I was in heaven. I was sitting there with like 4 glasses of wine and a charcuterie board. And the thing I love about the country itself is that it's made to look like Venice. And they do such a good job. It's so great for photo ops too. So definitely visit that section, even if you don't stop for the restaurant, just to take pictures. It's worth it.
Yeah, that's another reason why I love Italy so much. What you said about just even being in the wine cellar, it transports you to Italy. When I walk into the Italy section in Epcot, it just has that romantic feeling. Yeah. Like you said, it looks like Venice. They have the St. Mark's. Mm-hmm. And like St. Mark's.
The square and the
bell tower. Mm-hmm. I can't say the Italian word, what it's really called, like Campanile.
Oh, yeah.
St. Mark's. But
I should know that.
Anyway, they have a replica of like the Trevi Fountain from Rome, right? That's where that is. Yeah.
A ton of
they
great
used to have street performers, and do you remember you and I got in the show the one year?
God, that was awful.
It wasn't. We were the only two that they didn't give a costume to, so we were just in our
we were dressed like identical twins. We had those matching hot pink hoodies on, and that's when like we both had platinum blonde hair, and so they were like, oh, we're definitely bringing these girls into the show.
I just remember Phil going yes when like we got nominated to go up there. So I found pictures from that, so I'll put them up there. Yeah, but it whatever. It wasn't embarrassing except the fact that they gave everybody else a costume except for us.
So, I mean, even if you don't go into the restaurant there, when we had first gotten in there, because we were a little bit early for a reservation, they had a kiosk that I think is just a regular kiosk where we all got wine. Like, that wasn't even on the food and wine.
No, I think that's always there.
But yeah, Taylor was like double fisting champagne. Like,
she was.
We were feeling good at that point.
Did you know that they sell the Venetian masks in there too? No. I don't think I ever took you in that store. And I thought of that when I was preparing for this episode. So next time when we go, I have to bring you in there because I know you love those.
I do. All right. What's your number 2?
Oh, I love France. Again,
France is on my list. That's number 4 for me.
I love old France. There was a French bakery like in the mid to late 2000s. Yeah. They have a new one. But it's not the same. It's still good.
I literally forget every year, and I go back there and think that it's going to be there, and then I'm just like heartbroken.
Well, we were able to take a second time out in 2020 at Food and Wine in that I forget which there's a couple of French restaurants, but yeah, the one
view of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, it's really cute. I like being in France. And during Food and Wine, they have the escargot, which I just love. I think everybody really likes it's like a pink slushy drink. And I just hear people talk about that all the time, which isn't my favorite, but I'm not a big slushy drinker, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's like so sweet. It's hard to do that for me.
Yeah, it's like a frozen cosmopolitan kind of. It's like pomegranate something.
Honestly, I think this is why I liked the Flower and Garden show so much, because it was almost like an elevated Food and Wine, because instead of, like, we didn't go there with the goal of, like, we're drinking around the world, we're going to stop at every country and do as many kiosks as we can. But you can do this at any time, is you just make reservations in each restaurant. So we had a reservation in Italy at the Wine Cave, and then we had a reservation in France. And in both places, if you're splitting a bottle of wine, like if you're with a group of 5 or 4, it's a fantastic deal. Like the pricing is not bad at all. So we would get a charcuterie board, a bottle of wine, and it's just fun. You, like we said, it really does transport you. You feel like you're there. They're playing the music. They hire people from those countries, so it's just even more authentic.
Yeah, I love it.
So we're on France. Let me see. My favorite thing about France, besides the restaurant, which is called Chefs de France, is getting a baguette.
That's a pro tip.
Yeah.
Get that baguette, split it with your friends. Get
like
a good base before.
It's like the best priced food in Epcot. You get a giant French baguette for $4. You can eat it all day, and you're going to need that to soak up all the alcohol.
That's correct. Although Taylor taught me it's actually the protein that soaks up the alcohol better than the carbs.
Oh, yeah.
I still like carbs.
Me too. We're carby girls. But so this year we tried to go, and Rainer and I went back there while you and Taylor were waiting in line for drinks and food. And so we'll go get our baguette, and then we're going to go to Morocco because we have our plan. I kid you not, you could not even get in. There was a line out the door. And I'm like, Rainer, you wait in this line. Let me just like run in there and see if I can do my little like blonde girl thing, like get my way to the front. Not even, I was like, are you kidding me? It would have taken over an hour to get a baguette.
Oh, well, you know why? They just opened that Ratatouille ride, which I really want to go on, but it's really everybody's there now trying to get on the ride. I told him
when we walked up, I go, oh my gosh, Beauty and the Beast is open, which wasn't open last time we were there.
What is that?
It's like a live show, like a theater show.
Huh.
And I was like, we should do that. But it was just very busy. Honestly, like Disney, if you're listening, anyone that works at Disney, please have a baguette stand. Just like, honestly, like a cute little French bike selling baguettes. So cute. They would make $1 million.
That's our retirement plan.
Every drunk person walking by would be like, yeah, I got $4 for a baguette. Like, that's going to make my life better. Yeah. Because I'm not waiting in a line with 1,000 other people that want all these incredible desserts. Like, I just want an already made French bread baguette.
There is a hidden bathroom. If you do get into that baguette section back in the back corner of France, there's 2 secret like bathrooms. Single stall bathrooms that usually aren't very busy if you really need one.
Okay,
well, what's your second favorite then?
Morocco.
That's my third.
So Mal already talked a little bit about Morocco because it's on my list as a favorite because of their full bar. So you're not paying like kiosk pricing for like a special drink, you know, like
a smaller version.
Yeah. Whatever their like seasonal fun drink for the Food and Wine Fest is, you're just going to a straight up bar and you can order your favorite drink. So we got our rum and gingers, and actually this year the guy goes, do you guys want doubles? It's a better value. And so we're like, yes. But that was definitely my downfall. I should not have had the double, which my husband ordered for me, so I'm blaming Phil on that. But we were like, yeah, it gets a better value. You don't have to wait in line again. And I mean, I feel like nobody knows about it. There's never a line.
I mean, and it's right there in the middle, but I feel like Morocco might get passed up a little bit.
It does, and it shouldn't, because
there's not an attraction there. Like, there's not a ride.
Things.
There's a couple shops. A great restaurant where I don't know that they have the entertainment right now, but they had belly dancers back there, you know?
Well, so the other thing about the full bar, they do serve food. So there's 2 different lines. There's a line for a table where you can get table service and a meal and drinks, or there's a line for the bar. So, you know, make sure you're in the right line. We usually just go straight to the bar line and get drinks to go. And it's our favorite. I don't know if it's the only place to get rum and gingers, but it's my favorite place.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more bars, but we just stumbled upon that. Now it's our favorite. And we get our French baguette when we're lucky and go sit down and eat bread and drink rum and gingers in the back streets of Morocco.
Well, that's why it's my other thing on here for being the favorite is they have all these shaded tables throughout the spice market. So they've set it up so it's supposed to like resemble Morocco. And there's all these like hidden little streets and covered areas and tables, and they're way in the back. And like Molly said, there's no rides or anything. So just like go get your drinks and meals and hang out back there and play cards. That's what we usually do.
I think we're probably the only people who bring cards to Epcot, but we just want to experience the cultures or as much as we can from, commercialized Epcot with their authentic food and drinks or rum and ginger beers, but just enjoy each other's companies in a really cool place.
Yeah, it's very fun.
While we take a time out and drink, we like to play cards.
So this year, for the first time, we went to the Tangerian Cafe. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but
I missed that.
So this is where I went and waited in line with Rainer while you guys were getting the French food. And so we failed at baguettes, so we're like, we're gonna go here. And they had these like hummus platters with a bunch of different toppings and like pita bread and falafel. So we decided, there were 6 of us, we were gonna get like 4 hummus platters. So we each decided we'd order 2. We had our little gift card wristbands. I'm like, oh my gosh, the best deal is like $10.50. You're getting so much food. This is like an appetizer size entree at a restaurant. And so we're in line. I get yelled at because I don't have a mask. So you can wait in line outside, but as soon as the line turns inside, you have to have a mask on. So Rainer's like, you go, I'll buy them all. So I felt real bad. So I run back to our table that Phil and Elias are guarding, and I grab my mask. And so I, cut back to where I was in line. And I scared the shit out of Rainer. He is so funny. Like, I did come kind of out of the bushes. Like, I had to, like, push a tree past, and he just was like, wah! Because I'm like, I'm back. And so we get up to the front, we order our meal, and I said I'll do 2 of the pita meal. Mm-hmm. Apparently, they thought I meant, like, falafel on pita.
That's why that was there when I came back to the table. And so
Rainer, like, he orders after me, and he just comes up behind me, he's laughing. I'm like, what? And he's like, you did not order the right thing. I was like, what are you talking about? I pointed, I said pita, and
just bread, pita.
I'm drunk, just give me some bread, that's all I want. So anyway, we ended up with falafel by mistake, but it was fantastic.
Yeah. And that little hummus appetizer was great too. It was like, was there like tabbouleh?
Yeah, you had hummus and then like 2 different types of dips that went with it. Like a red sauce one that was like a marsala, and then a green one.
So if anyone listening has ever been to Sanaa at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, everybody talks about the bread service appetizer. And this is like a mini version of that because you're only getting the 3 dips with your non-bread. So this is a great way to sample that.
I have to say that this place, like, besides just being my favorite country for their great bar and awesome little like table setup, was that Tangerian Cafe had the best, like, you get the most food for the best pricing, because it was $10.50 for the falafel entree, and it was a full pita, like cut in half, packed with amazing falafel.
Disney prices.
So yeah, my screw up was actually a benefit.
Yeah, no, I do. I enjoy spending time in Morocco.
So what else do you have on your...
Do we each have just one left?
Yeah.
I think it's the same. I have Mexico.
What?
Yeah.
You don't have England on here?
I do love England, but I love getting... I always get a margarita. I love the inside of the Mexico pavilion. I love stopping and get chips and guac. But yeah, I mean, I love the UK too. I knew you'd have that one.
I mean, I'm honestly surprised that the UK is not my favorite. Because, I don't know, I feel like I just belong there. Every time I go over there, like in real life, in the real country, I just love it. It feels like home. So when we go there in Disney, it's even better because you have Mary Poppins, you have the Beatles impersonators.
Remember, they used to have all those bands.
Yeah.
Like, and there's pictures of us with the Beatles that I found from back in yesteryears. The fish and chips is clutch. So like good. I always get that, I think, at the end of the day, just to get all the grease.
So that's why this is on here. So I picked England as my 3rd favorite country, and I mean it was hard. Honestly, the first 3 could all be number 1 for me, but their bar is called the Crown and Rose Pub, and they do have
isn't it Rose and Crown?
Rose and Crown? I thought it was Crown and Rose.
Oh,
I don't know.
You keep talking.
But as Molly was saying, the fish and chip is so good. And we've always gotten just the like Epcot kiosk version, which is a smaller serving, which is great for when you're trying to sample everything. But this time we actually went in and we got a table and like had a waitress and everything. And so we each ordered one and there was so much more food.
Each couple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so much food.
Rose and Crown.
Okay, Rose and Crown, sorry. Don't listen to me. As always, I've said refer to Molly. She has the facts.
Well, you had me. I was tricked for a minute.
Okay, so we figured out all of our favorite countries.
Mm-hmm. And for as many times as we've gone, what's something that you think we need to go back and do?
I mean, there's always something. That's the crazy thing about Epcot is
ever changing.
Yeah, and every time we go, it's still never enough. There's more things I would have done and stuff. So just after this past trip, I remember you and I waited in line in Canada to try a cider flight.
Yeah.
I wish so the line was really, really long. Maybe it would have been our second drink. And so everyone was still kind of just figuring out where they wanted to go. And so we're like, all right, we should not wait in line for an hour.
Make everybody wait for us.
But they had cider flights, they had mules, and you got these really cool copper mugs. So I definitely want to do that next time we go if they have the cider flights in Canada. That's definitely on my list.
I really want to try the new Ratatouille ride.
I will do that with you.
You know, you love Ratatouille.
I do. That's Vinny's nickname. He's my little Ratatouille.
And I found a picture of you holding a Ratatouille from like 2009.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was a thing then.
It was from like a McDonald's Happy Meal.
No, it was at Epcot.
Was it?
Oh, I bet you bought it for Scott.
Yeah.
It was a little stuffed animal.
Phil's best friend is a chef, so every time we see little chef things, we think of Scott. And like I just recently, maybe not recently, it's probably been 2 years, we do Home Chef all the time. And that's how I learned to cook, because before that I was literally the worst. I could only do grilled cheese and ramen noodles. So we cook a lot, and our dog, of course, is like just a little kitchen monster, and he's under our feet the entire time in case we drop anything. So we always like pick him up and show him we're cooking. So he's our little Remy, our little chef.
Little chef. That's so cute. And I really want to see the new night show that they have.
The fireworks show?
Mm-hmm. Which we saw from, another pro tip, ride the sky buckets. You don't even have to go into a park to do that. You could, Chrissy, we need to do a whole sky bucket pub crawl.
At Disney.
Yeah, everywhere the sky buckets go, all the resorts,
Absolutely.
we go to the bars. But anyway, the past couple of years since they've had they're not called sky buckets. That's what we call them.
What are they actually called?
I don't know. The Skyline, maybe.
We'll put it in the show notes.
But anyway,
we're blaming Mona right now.
From Epcot, Mona.
Crazy.
It goes to the Riviera Resort and the rooftop bar we love. We've ended up there 2 for 2 now after food and wine, and we were able to see the fireworks show from the rooftop. We couldn't hear the music or anything though. So
yeah. So I have one more thing on my go back to do, and it was our UK lamp post photo.
I found the OG lamp
Did
photos.
you?
We are very well.
I feel like we've literally done this every year, and I don't know how we didn't do it this year. There were 6 of us. So like the bigger the group, like the harder it is to like remember all the things you want to do.
Yeah.
We did do our red telephone booth in the UK, but Molly and I always do the UK lamp post photo. That actually originated from my very first trip to Disney. I think I was like 15 or 16. And I went with my parents and my brother. And UK was my favorite country at Epcot, and we listened to the Beatles impersonators, and my mom and I took a picture on one of those lampposts, and it is the funniest picture. Like, I was just like, wow, I feel like we're in England.
Aww.
And so every single time I've gone to Epcot, I feel like I've done that photo, and I don't know how we forgot this year. Do over.
Yep. Redo. Oh my gosh. They released the annual pass prices for, the new, I guess, like during the 50th anniversary, because it came out in 2021. So I'm assuming it goes through 2022 pricing. It is so expensive, but I feel like we just need to get one so we can go whenever we want, because whenever we talk about it, we love it.
This is another little pro tip that I guess it just depends how they're running the length of their food and wine. But originally we used to buy it at the end of it, like in November, we would buy an annual pass for going to Epcot Food and Wine. And then it would get us one more food and wine the next year when we would go early in September.
Right, and your pass didn't expire until November.
So I mean, you can make it work for you because I mean now it's a drive. You really got to plan it, and it's one of those things I feel like when you have the annual pass, you feel like when you have free time, you're obligated to go there. So even though it is expensive, I'd rather just buy it when I'm gonna go and just go have a really good time.
We have so many other things to do.
I know it's hard to spend the time boozing everywhere.
I know, such a tough life.
Okay, so before we get into like some of our resources and our favorite Fast Fives, do you have any favorite memories you want to share that we haven't already covered?
Well, I think we kind of covered it, but I think so. Chrissy and I love spending time with Phil and Rainer and all our friends and everybody we're with, no matter where we are. But we like to have just the two of us time from time to time.
So rare.
So we would ask for 20 minutes of free time when we'd go to Food and Wine because we're keeping up with the group all day. We're being good sports, but we just want to go do our own thing. So we bartered with Phil years ago for 20 minutes. And now 20 minutes of free time has become a thing because we've done it at UCF.
Everywhere.
We ended up with tutus one time.
We did it at a festival on like the field, I think, one time.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it's a thing. So our first 20 minutes of free time, I'll have to put the pictures on our blog. Chrissy and I we hit every country within 20 minutes. Not only did we hit every country, we got our passport stamped because they used to have the passport books that you got stamped. We got pictures with employees. We bought hats.
I bought that hat. Yeah.
We took pictures with like statues. There's these weird pictures. And we did it in 20 minutes.
Honestly, I think that's really what bonded us, like to love Epcot so much because we were like, this is the most fun ever. Because it was a challenge. They didn't think we could do it. And we're like, we can actually do it and we're going to do it well.
And have pictures to prove it.
So I mean, I have a million. I feel
like
we've talked about most of these, but recently we went on Halloween and I loved that because we talked to the people that work at Disney and they're like, historically, this is one of the least crowded days to go because most parents are trick-or-treating with their kids. So you're not going to get a lot of people in Epcot. So we went there, which was great. And besides, just enjoying everything Epcot has to offer, everyone is dressed up in Halloween costumes. So just great people watching. Remember everyone that were dressed like the chefs?
Yes, there were 4 guys.
That was great.
Yeah, they were Emerald Lagasse?
Yeah.
The Mean Man.
Shoot, from Hell's Kitchen.
Gordon Ramsay.
And the Salt Bay dude.
Yeah, I didn't know who that was. And one other one. But yeah, just 4 guys dressed up and they took on their personality.
Guy Fieri.
Oh, yeah.
It was hilarious.
They were fantastic.
Yeah, those were our favorite costumes, but there were a lot of great costumes. I mean, we mentioned the 7 Drunken Dwarfs was one of my favorite when we made those t-shirts. Jay's mug belt.
Yep, I have pictures of that.
So at most of the kiosks, they have the souvenir cup.
Well, they used to. Now it's like Corksicle. Did they have the mugs?
Yeah, when we were in Ireland, they had them. And that's when I put it out to you. And I was like, oh my God, remember Jay's mug belt. So they have this, it's like a plastic beer stein with a handle. And it has the country's flag on it that you get it from. And so most countries would have it. And so we went with our friend Jay, and he got one of these souvenir mugs at each place we went, and he would just add it to his belt. Oh my God. He had like a dozen, I feel like, by the end of the trip. It was just so funny.
Yeah. Somebody else started that. It was one of like Monica's friends.
Oh, yeah.
Because I found pictures of that too.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. One of my favorite memories, Phil saved my life in Japan one year. Because your dad bet me if I ate the entire ball of wasabi, he would buy me whatever drink I wanted. So challenge accepted. And Phil put the kibosh on that immediately. He goes, Molly, do not do that. And hit it out of my hand.
Phil.
So thanks, Phil.
Oh my God. I forgot about that. We mentioned sky buckets, which might be called the Skyliner. But every time we go on them, we sing
Sky Buckets in Flight.
Pew! From Afternoon Delight, and it's just so fun. It doesn't matter who you're on with there, you just start singing and they'll sing along with you, and it just makes you giggle. So that's what we've started calling them, Sky Buckets, and now we don't even know the real name.
I think it's the Skyliner.
So I have trash can picnics.
Okay, my favorite memory is a follow-up to what was going on with your good memory. I had the bad memory.
So first, before we get into this, do you know that Disney sells a Christmas ornament that is their trash can?
No.
And I'm like, do they do this because so many people have trash can picnics? Or
you have to. You post up wherever you can. Find a spot to eat.
If you're going to eat over a trash can, it might as well be a Disney trash can because they're the most beautiful. But so this was a year we went. It was me and Phil, Molly Rayner, and our friends Joe and Emma. And when you go with a group of 6, it turns into cats. Everyone's herding cats and everyone wants to go different directions. And so you start like splitting off like, oh, I'm going to go here. And yeah, I want to go there. And so at some point, we all got separated into like different couples. So I was with Joe, you were with Phil, and Emma was with Rayner. And like just mass chaos was going on with all 4 of you. And Joe and I were like, we just want some steak. So we went to Canada and we got like this amazing filet and potatoes and we ate it over a trash can and like we were watching like a fireworks show. I was like, this is such a romantic trash can picnic. I love this.
Yeah. So while you were having your delicious
we were
steak,
enjoying like an amazing gourmet trash can picnic.
Emma grabs Rayner and wants to go on the Norway ride. When the Norway ride still existed before it was frozen, takes off running through the crowds of people. So me and Phil are trying to keep up, thinking Joe and Chrissy are behind us, but they weren't.
No, we left because we did not want to chase their drunkenness. We were hungry.
Usually Chrissy and I are the like out of control,
the ringleaders.
Or somebody's trying to hurt us or wheel us back. Well, this particular night, Phil happened to be the drunk one. And Phil decides, as we're running through all these people, that he doesn't want to run anymore. And he stops dead, like, where he is. So me and Phil, and I stop with him because Rayner and Emma are so far ahead. And now Phil and I are 2 boulders in a sea of people. I said, Phil, we got to go. And he said, I don't want to. I said, Phil, like, we're just standing in the middle of these people. We have to go. And he crossed his arms and said, no. And I said, okay. Well, can we go move over here so we're not in all these people? And he said, okay. And I said, okay, we get over there. I said, okay, come on, we have to go catch up now. And he is refusing. So I said, Philip Trevor Benjamin. I used his middle name. And he looked at me with wide eyes for a minute because I used the middle name. And then he got this big smirk and he goes, you're not Chrissy.
I don't have to listen to you.
So I'm now stuck with drunk Phil in the middle of nowhere. My husband is off with Emma. And Phil's wife, Chrissy, is with Joe eating steak on a trash can, which we didn't know. So I just sat there thinking, what am I going to do? Phil's not moving.
Well, I think it was just like I got to the point. I feel like both Joe and I, like, you know, when you like look at someone and you just like share, like, you know what each other's thinking. We were both like, they're so drunk. Like, we don't want anything to do with them right now. Like, they're way drunker than us and there's no way we can catch up.
Then how was I the responsible one?
I don't know. Like, there's always someone in the group that's kind of like, oh, it's about to hit the fan.
Well, Phil's worse than me.
Somebody's gotta like take charge here. And like Joe and I were done. You were still trying to like handle, you know, herding the cats, and the rest were just like running around bonkers. But I just remember I was like sitting there eating that steak and it was so good. I'm like looking at Joe and I'm like, man, Joe, it sucks that our spouses are too drunk to be here with us right now. Like, we're just enjoying this moment that could have been so great, like, you know, spent with our spouses, but whatever.
But you and Joe finished eating. I'm still sitting there with Phil with all these people going by us. And I see you 2. And I was never so happy to see you in my life because I'm like, I am no longer responsible for Phil.
Was Phil still with you?
Yes.
Oh, man.
I stood by him because remember he saved my wasabi life the year before. Yeah. So I owed him one. So you and Joe met us, and now we just had to find Rayner and Emma.
And that's when we went on that ride, the Norway
ride. Mm-hmm.
I don't even think we can say all the things that happened on the Norway ride because it's just too shameful.
Yeah, but eventually we found Rayner.
Yeah,
and Emma
we
as
survived.
Well. So we all reunited. Oh, but Ken, we probably can't talk about that. Was the first night that Rayner shared a hotel room with you and Phil.
See, these are the things, like, some things that happen at Disney should stay at Disney.
Yeah, but. So I had been a part of Chrissy and Phil's life for a long time at this point, and this was my new boyfriend, Rayner, his first time sharing a hotel room with Chrissy and Phil. And Joe and Emma stayed with us too. And I just told Rayner before we went in there, I said, you don't ruin this for me. I said, these are my travel buddies.
You don't screw this up.
Yeah, Yeah. I think we need to go back to our packing episode and just talk about hotel stays that we've shared together. We're now adults and we get separate rooms. Yeah.
Honestly, I think that started at your wedding gift trip when we went to Epcot.
So the thank you gift.
When Molly and Rainer got married, Phil and I were their maid of honor and best man. And so as a thank you for like helping them, which they totally didn't need to get us, they took us to Epcot. I mean, because we just all love it. So
to food and wine.
They were like, and we don't have to share a hotel room because we're grown-ups. We're going to like spring for 2 separate rooms. And like literally since that day, we're like, oh my God, we are grown-ups. Like,
yeah,
we can get separate rooms.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And I mean, Chrissy and I still share rooms a lot. You know, it's not a thing, but yeah, I guess we're just adults now. We don't have to cram 6 people in a room anymore like we used to.
I mean, that's when you have all the funny stories. So
yeah. So real quick, I guess, you know, you listen to me and Chrissy ramble on about how we view Epcot Food and Wine, but there's some really good resources out there too. I mean, aside from the official website, both of us happen to recommend to each other the Disney food blog. They have a website and they have an Instagram account, which, oh my God, if you are hungry, do not look at their Instagram. But
I learned a lot on that site because I was trying to do some research for this episode. And actually, while we were at Epcot this past year, I was like, you know, we've gone like almost a dozen times by now. How can we make it different? How can we keep elevating it and changing it? And what I learned on the Disney food blog is about all the different special events that are beyond your ticket price. These are things you have to purchase separately. And they range in price from like $45 a guest up to $359. But I mean, it goes from just like a private food pairing tasting to like, what is it called? The Party for the Senses, which is 50 stations, all you can eat and drink with live music, private transportation. So you can honestly make it the Disney of your dreams. And I do love that they offer all those different things.
I do too. And I definitely want to try some of these different VIP experiences or special events because I love what we do year after year. But like you said, I want to elevate it.
Yeah.
Try something different, see what we're missing. Maybe we'll get super spoiled. I mean, I already feel like this is a really big treat for us to be able to go because it is super expensive. Yeah. You spend a lot of money to have a good day out there. Disney is not cheap.
But I agree with you. It's definitely not cheap, but I do love that you know you're going to have a good time. Like sometimes you're like, let's roll the dice. Let's try this like beer tasting event or craft brewery festival. And there's a ticket price to get in and you got to pay and you just don't know if you're going to love it. With this, like you're guaranteed to have a great time.
And I do believe, say what you will about Disney, being more expensive or for kids or whatever, their level of service, level of cleanliness, I mean, it's second to none. We've done other parks in the Orlando area, which are really fun. But when it comes to quality, cleanliness, and just the overall experience, take Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Goofy out of it. Just the Disney experience itself is fantastic.
Yeah, because we've learned like Disney can be for adults too. Like we've absolutely loved our time there and just having a great time Disney drinking.
Yeah, and we would love to hear from all of you too. If you've been to Epcot Food and Wine and you have a pro tip that we didn't cover,
I want to know.
Let us know. Yeah, please let us know. So,
did you have any other resources before we close this up with our Fast Five?
I don't. Do you?
I found 2 more that I thought were cool. So, like I said, I'm kind of into the Instagramming thing. So I love knowing kind of those secret spots just to go take your photos.
Yeah.
Which they don't always work out. Sometimes the park's a little too busy and there's just too many people in the background. But if you check out oliviamichelle.com and it's the best Instagram photo spots at Epcot. Honestly, if you just search best Instagram photo spots at Epcot, she will come up. And it's Olivia Michelle with an H at the end.
I love that.
And so that's how I found out about the murals that had their own hashtag, like the toothpaste wall outside of Nemo. And then you and I did like that really funny one in Tomorrowland. It was like the pastel,
by Mission
rose
Space,
gold.
right? Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just cool. I mean, it's something to do. It's almost like a scavenger hunt trying to find all those cool
It is.
Instagram things.
Because you showed those to me when we went to the Flower and Garden Festival. I had no idea where they were.
It's nice to have something to do, a goal or plan. And the other one was wdwnt.com. So I guess that this is the app we were talking about, which shows the full menu and pricing. So that is the website, and they're the ones that have the app.
Okay.
So you can look them up, and we will have all these resources in the show notes for you.
Awesome.
All right, so it's Fast Five time.
Well, before we do Fast Five, when I was talking about if anybody has any extra tips or, fun facts or anything to help us on our next trip, since this is a magical episode, we got our first piece of fan mail.
We did?
Yeah.
I didn't even know this.
I know.
She's surprising me.
I'm surprising you.
Shut up. Who sent? This is from you. That's
No,
your handwriting.
That's not my hand. I do not write in all capital letters.
This is from Elias and Taylor, isn't it?
Does that look like Elias's handwriting a little
Kind
bit?
of.
Okay, so it's a card.
We should do a drinking podcast of us drinking and laughing. That's what the card says on the outside. There's money in here. Who is that from your mom? Oh, Pam, you're the best. It says people would love us, and they do.
And she's donating to our drinking fund.
Oh.
She sent us money to go get a drink. I think. Oh,
Go
yep.
get
It says, "Go get
yourselves
yourselves a drink."
Can I read this?
Sure.
On air? Okay. Oh my gosh, this card is so Molly and Chrissy. It really is. I just wanted to toast you two and say here's and cheers to a successful new adventure and chapter in your lives. I admire you guys so much. And remember, Boozy Blonde girls, when I die, don't bury me at all. Just pickle my bones in alcohol. Oh my God. A scuttle of booze at my head and shoes, and then my bones will surely keep. Oh my gosh, I love this. Thank you, Pam.
Mom.
That is so cool. Well, so this is our first, real donation.
Mm-hmm. So we'll have to cheers Pam Soltis in a future episode because she's buying us some drinks. Yeah.
We should, name something like the Pam Jam or the Pam Can,
Ooh.
because she's our very first. Which, so we did just recently on our website come up with a donation tab. So you can buy us a beer. If you have a local brew, drink, cocktail, wine, any sort of amazing boozy beverage that you just feel we need to try, you can let us know on the website. You can buy us a beer. It's a $5 donation. Tell us what you want us to drink, and we will drink it and review it here on the podcast. And as well, we will give you a shout out for being awesome.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to. My mom really likes Bloody Marys. I think maybe we should go get some Bloody Marys. Find the best Bloodies.
For Pam, and she chases it with milk.
No, she. What?
Do you remember your shower? She had a Bloody Mary in one hand and a mug of milk. I was like, Pam, what are you drinking? And she just started laughing.
I think that's where I get my iron stomach from. That woman can put down anything to drink.
Oh, that's so cute. I love how you kept that. It was a secret. I didn't even know. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, that's it.
All right. So now we're on to Fast Five, and we'll wrap this episode up.
It's time for our Fast Five. Okay, Molly, this is your Fast Five about Epcot food and wine.
Okay.
If you can only choose one country to visit, would it be Italy or France?
Italy.
If you go there and you could only have one or the other, would it be food or booze?
Booze.
You better say booze.
I know, but I love food too.
Would you rather go on the rides or go to the World Showcase?
World Showcase.
Would you rather eat at the restaurants or the kiosks?
Restaurants, I guess, because it's plural.
This is the tough one. Would you choose to watch the fireworks or ride Figment?
Watch the fireworks.
Really?
If it was meat Figment, that might change it.
He's not even real.
Yeah, I met him when I was little.
I love this.
Which I just got some Figment socks from our friend Lee. Thanks, Lee. Lee gets it. If anybody else loves Figment, please let me know because
she needs the support.
Chrissy, Rainer, Phil, Taylor, Elias, they just don't get it.
Yeah, Molly's the only one on Team Figment. Molly and Lee.
That's right. We get it. Molly. All right, Chris, your Fast Five. Ready? Mm-hmm. Which country has the best costumes or uniforms?
Best costume?
Well,
uniforms.
Yeah, what the staff wears.
I can't even like picture what they wear. I'm going to say the UK just because those are my peeps.
Okay. What's your favorite ride at Epcot?
I don't go on the ride.
Yeah, but you've been on them. So what's your favorite?
The Norway ride, which I guess is now frozen.
I was hoping for Figment.
No.
What's the prettiest country at Epcot?
That's hard. They're all beautiful, but I just really love Italy.
What's the worst country?
Oh, that's so mean, but I'm going to go with Canada.
You haven't been to the steakhouse.
No, but like...
Or the cider tasting, I guess.
feel like I always just blow through Canada because there's like not a lot
We always
there.
take a picture in that weird hole cutout thing. And have you ever seen the Lumberjacks singers?
Oh my God. Rainer was like all about the Lumberjack singers.
Really?
When we were walking there, he was telling Elias, he's like, oh, sometimes the Lumberjack singers are performing. And that's when I told you, I'm like, I love it. You trained him so well because he loves Epcot as much as we do now.
So you would rather go to China than Canada?
Yeah, they have, when you said the drummers, I feel like
That's Japan.
I feel like they're China. We're going to have to go to the pros.
Review board.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm just
instant replay.
I'm campaigning for all our Canadians here listening.
I know all the Robin Scherbatsky fans out there.
Yeah. All right.
Canada.
And who's your favorite Disney prince?
Prince Philip.
Aww. That's so cheesy.
I know.
But appropriate.
Yeah.
No. All right. Well, until next year, I mean, once we get to do some of these different experiences, we can let everybody know how Party of the Senses is, or maybe the traditional Parisian brunch.
Yes. And definitely please leave us a review and tell us your experiences if you've done it and if you have any pro tips or Epcot food and wine hacks. And definitely watch the vlog for this episode because we will have all of our old school photos.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Cheers, guys.
That's it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back soon with more boozy fun.
Well, and make sure to follow us on social media so you can get the drink of the day on Wasted Wednesdays. On Facebook, we're /Boozy Blondes. On the gram, we are at boozy.blondes. And on YouTube, we're /Boozy Blondes. Visit our website for recipes and references from each episode at www.boozyblondes.com. We'd love to hear from you, so send us an email sharing your boozy stories and requests and pictures at boozyblondespodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast so you never miss a chance to drink with us. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and more. And don't forget to leave a review. The boozier, the better. If we love your toast to our show, we'll read it on air. Stay boozy.
Cheers.